They told us the guns at Pointe du Hoc could cover both Utah and Omaha. Standing in a rocking landing craft, staring up at that wall of cliffs, it felt like they were aiming straight at us. I was a ranger in 2nd Battalion on the morning of June 6, 1944. We'd spent weeks on English practice. Cliffs, ropes, grapnels, ladders, timing the climb. The plan was simple on paper. Land at the base, climb under fire, knock out the German 155s before they shredded the invasion beaches. The closer we got, the less simple it looked. The channel was rough, sky low and gray. Naval guns had already smashed the headland, but you could still see wire, concrete, and pillboxes dug into the cliff edge. The black line of rock ahead looked high and wet and very unfriendly. "Looks taller than the practice wall," my buddy Harris muttered. "That's because nobody shot at us on the practice wall," I said. As we closed in, machine gun fire started snapping over the water, rounds kicking plumes out of the waves. Inland artillery was landing short, throwing up tall columns of spray. "Rangers, lead the way!" The coxswain yelled, because of course he did. Our rocket-fired grapnels were already set. Boats grounded hard on the rocks, ramps down, and we splashed into waist-deep water, slogging for the base of the cliff while rounds cracked around us. Somebody yelled and went under. We didn't stop. Rocket crews planted their poles and fired. Grapnels hissed up the cliff, ropes trailing. Some caught in rock and roots, some slid off and fell back uselessly. We grabbed the lines that held and hauled them tight. "Climb!" the lieutenant shouted. "You stop on the beach, you die on the beach." I wrapped my hands around a wet rope and went up. The first few yards were hell. We were still exposed to enfilade fire from the flanks. Grenades tossed over the edge tumbled past and went off in midair, spraying rock and water. Boots slipped. Rope burned my palms through wet gloves. We'd rigged some rope ladders and wooden slats, but half the time you were grabbing whatever you could: roots, cracks, jagged edges. Halfway up, one of the ropes to my right tore loose. 3 men fell in a tangle, hitting the rocks hard. 1 stayed down. The other 2 staggered up and went for another line without a word. Harris climbed just below me. "You fall," he panted. "I'm not catching you." "Good," I said. "I'm heavy." We paused on a small ledge, boots cramped together on a slice of rock while men above us cleared the top. "Don't bunch up," came a shout from somewhere above. "Top first, then move inland." I dragged myself the last few feet, hands and arms screaming, until a ranger on the rim grabbed my webbing and yanked me over. I slammed onto the grass and dirt at the top, chest heaving. Off the edge, someone yelled, "Move inland. Don't silhouette." We crawled away from the lip and dropped into shell holes and shattered craters. The plateau looked like the moon craters, broken concrete, smashed bunkers. We were supposed to find 6 big guns in massive concrete casemates. We found empty emplacements, huge bunkers, no guns, just wreckage. "You've got to be kidding," Harris said. "We climbed that for empty holes." "The guns are here somewhere," the lieutenant snapped. "They didn't pour all this concrete for fun." Spread out, we pushed inland, moving crater to crater. German defenders popped up from trenches and dugouts. We cleared them with grenades and short bursts. The inland ground was chewed up, trees snapped, earth turned over. Then a shout from ahead, "Guns! Over here!" In a small orchard behind the main position, we found them 5 big 155mm guns in simple open revetments, camouflaged with branches, aimed inland down the routes toward the beaches. "There's your prize," the lieutenant said. "Kill them, fast." We slapped thermite charges on breech blocks and elevation gears, lit them, and jumped back. White-hot metal ate into the steel, warping and freezing mechanisms. The guns sizzled, smoked, and died. We smashed sights with rifle butts and dumped more thermite just to be sure. "Make damn sure no one can fix these," the lieutenant said. "If they ever fire again, we failed." By the time we were done, Those guns were nothing but twisted metal. Mission accomplished didn't mean we were done. Germans counterattacked the cliff top with mortar and infantry. We dug into the craters and shattered bunkers, low on ammo and men, waiting for the relief we'd been promised would come quickly. It didn't feel quick. Radio traffic was patchy, but we heard enough to know Omaha was a mess and that those guns would have made it worse if they'd been left intact. We held through the day and into the next, repelling probes, calling for what little naval fire we could get, moving wounded into the least broken shelters. Sleep wasn't even an idea. At some point, wedged in a crater with my rifle across my knees, I realized my arms were still trembling from the climb hours before. "Still shaking?" Harris asked, reloading beside me. "Cliff started it," I said. "Mortar are finishing it." He snorted. "Think anyone down on the beach knows these guns weren't even in those fancy bunkers?" He asked. "They'll know if they're not getting pounded by 155s, I said. "That's the whole point. When elements from Omaha finally fought their way inland and linked up with us, seeing friendly helmets emerging through the smoke felt unreal. We'd taken heavy losses. A lot of ropes at the bottom didn't match the number of Rangers on top. But the guns everyone had worried about were wrecked in an orchard, not firing into the surf. People later called Pointe du Hoc a suicidal climb, a legend, a symbol. For me, it's a rope in wet hands, a cliff trying to shake you off, empty casemates where guns were supposed to be, and the hiss of thermite eating steel in an orchard while you hope some kid on Omaha lives long enough to walk off his beach because you got there first.